Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 60, where the Rangers win 4-3 over the Anaheim Ducks in overtime. Adam Fox with a gorgeous OT winner. Oh boy, this was pretty entertaining. So the stories going into the game are the Rangers go back to the six-man defensive core, which, okay, normal, good. I mentioned with the last game that I thought the defensive pairs were only going to be for that game, and that seems to be what the case was. They go back to only 6 defensemen. They go back to 12 forwards. Ryan Reeves is back after having a day to rest. And speaking of rest, we rest Shesterkin. Georgiev goes for us today, and I thought he played okay. I'll talk about that later on. But it was, in fact, the Rangers who would get on the board first with a Johnny Brodzinski goal. Okay. Nice shot, had some heat to it, but man, that is a goal that you just cannot allow if you're Josh Gibson. I mean, this is a clean look. It's not a breakaway. It's from a bit of a funny angle for Johnny Brodzinski. You can't allow that if you're the Ducks. That's a goal that you desperately want back, especially with the game ending 3-3 in regulation, having to go to overtime. That's a rough one, and the Rangers take the 1-0 lead. I'm not going to complain about it too much, but whew. That's one of those ugly goals that you're like, I'll take it, but just under 10 minutes later, the Ducks get the goal back, and they tie it at 1 apiece. They play it into the offensive zone. Troy Terry gets it behind the net. He does some work, moves around back in front, takes a shot kind of on net. It bounces off of Max Comtois and into the net. Now, this is not on Georgiev, just point blank. This is a tip off of a person, not even off the stick, off of a human being that bounces into the net. This is an unlucky bounce for Alexander Georgiev, and on that same note, I'm not particularly upset at the defense here, because I believe it was Keandre Miller covering him. I mean, he's all over him. He is all over Comtois, and he scores the goal by just existing in the space. You could have, not a metaphor, you could have put a pylon there, and he would have scored the goal, because it was literally just a I helped type of goal. Also, in case you didn't understand that, my hand was the puck bouncing off the player, and because only like a little bit of my chest and face is in frame, I had limited things it could bounce off of. So that was the puck bouncing off the player. They let me vote. Can you believe it? Anyway, it's 1-1 going into the second period, and the Rangers are on a delayed penalty. They're passing it around. It is Mika, Fox, and Panarin playing catch with the puck. Panarin, Mika to Fox, I believe, and then Fox feeds it back to Mika, who a deceivingly beautiful goal here by Mika Zibanejad. It doesn't look super impressive because Josh Gibson gives up a pretty wide open net to Zibanejad, but look at where Mika is on this play. He's very close to the goal line, and so, well, yeah, it's a pretty wide open net. That's a very, very hard target to hit from that angle for Mika. He snipes it and makes it a 2-1 Rangers lead on the delayed penalty. Not too long later, Cam Fowler has what would have been the goal of the game if a certain Adam Fox hadn't done something in overtime. This was beautiful. It's a power play. The Ducks win it, and Cam Fowler with a gorgeous shot on net off the top crossbar. I mean, that was a snipe and a half. That was just a gorgeous shot by Cam Fowler, and no one in this league is stopping that. It's 2 apiece. And now we get to the Derek Grant goal. Now, multiple things can be true at once. I don't particularly like blaming goaltenders for breakaways. I just don't. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Schneider and Nemeth both had not great plays on this play that allowed Derek Grant to get said breakaway. On that same token, Georgiev, you gotta not leave the 5-hole that wide open. Georgiev has had problems with breakaways all year. He's had problem with the 5-hole all year long. It's not getting better. This is, again, I don't love blaming it on Georgiev, but you kind of have to. Like, this is, you can't just keep giving up 5-hole goals like this. And it happens, it feels like every time he's in a game, there's a bad goal like this in the 5-hole. Thankfully, about 3 minutes later, the Rangers would respond. The Rangers are on a power play. They're moving it pretty darn well. I thought this power play looked good. Panarin has it, feeds it to Fox. He tries to take a shot at net. He misses the net. It bounces off the boards, and Chris Kreider, oh boy, what a nice backhander. And Kreider on this play, great poise, sees that it's going to bounce off the backboards and just lets it come to him. A gorgeous shot, and he scores. He ties it at 3. That is his 39th of the year. Kreider is hitting 50 and you can't stop him. Rangers tie at 3 apiece on a power play goal. So the game remains tied 3 apiece for the rest of regulation, and we head into overtime. And the Ducks, Troy Terry gets an opportunity. I think Georgiev might have gotten a piece of it. I don't know. I thought it looked like he just barely touched the puck. Regardless, no goal. It goes behind the net, and Troy Terry goes for the puck. Mika Zibanejad is there. He kind of fights off Troy Terry. He gets a little bit of a dump to Adam Fox. He carries out with Artemi Panarin. It's Panarin and Fox on a 2-on-1 breakaway. Fox gives it to Panarin. Panarin carries in. He is getting roughed up pretty fierce, and Panarin with a gorgeous pass. I'm not sure how he got that to Adam Fox. Fox gets it and just, I mean, a little move to buckle Cam Fowler directly in front of Josh Gibson. A gorgeous shot, the goal of the night, and the Rangers win it in overtime on a beautiful play by Adam Fox, Artemi Panarin, and a nice little play way in the back by Mika Zibanejad to make it happen. Everyone on the ice contributed to that. It was gorgeous, and the Rangers get a nice little win. And overall, Adam Fox was absolutely fantastic tonight. 3 points, goal, 2 assists. Artemi Panarin, 3 assists. Artemi Panarin just loves assists. He is a playmaker through and through, and he's fully showing us that this season. He just loves to set others up. He had a nice game. Kreider with a nice goal on the power play. Again, he's hitting 50, and that is not an exaggeration. Mika Zibanejad continues his little newfound stretch that's been going on basically since like right around Christmas. He turned it up to 11. He was good again tonight. The first line continues to look pretty darn solid. I thought the defensive pairs played pretty good tonight. There was the really bad play by Nemeth and Schneider, but if the bad defensive play comes from your third pair, you can kind of live with it. Again, I would still like us to make a move at the deadline, maybe for a defenseman, because we have $36 million available in cap for the deadline. Please use most of it. But overall, like, if that's the bad defensive plays from your third line or third pair, you can live with that. I thought Fox and Lindgren played better. I thought Miller and Trouba, shocker, are amazing. They've been really good for a while now. Georgiev, it's hard. 20 for 23 is not very pretty on a stat sheet. I thought he had a few really nice saves, and the goals that were allowed, I thought 2 of them are just kind of hard to pin on him. The first goal and the second goal, I don't like putting on him. The third goal, I also wouldn't, but man, the 5-hole has just been a problem so much this year. You really are starting to get to a point where you're banging your head against a wall with his, just leaving his legs wide open. I'm leaving that in. I'm leaving that bit in, and we're going to keep going and act like it isn't funny. Like, that was a rough goal to allow. But overall, I don't think we were allowing cheap goals tonight. And we've allowed cheap goals recently, but tonight just didn't feel like one of those. The Ducks played a very good game. I thought the Rangers played very good as well. Shots were dominated by the Rangers, 38-23. You can look at Money Puck's numbers and realize that a lot of our shots weren't exactly high danger or anything, but, you know, shots on goal at least very heavily favored us, and so did the score on the end of it, so I'll take it. Also, with the deadline coming up, wins like this, you just kind of want to take and be like, you know what, I'm happy. We're going to make some moves at the deadline. I have to believe we're going to get at least a forward and a defenseman. Maybe a goaltender. I don't know. We have so much available cap. We can do anything we want, really. I wouldn't mind getting a Claude Giroux. I wouldn't mind getting a Phil Kessel. Those 2 names keep popping up, and man, I would be happy with either one, and it would be a dream heavenly scenario if we somehow wound up with both. But I don't know, I might make a video about the deadline in the next couple days. I'm not sure. That might happen. Who's to say? But this is one of those, like, just, you're almost at the deadline, just be happy you got the 2 points, and look at playoff seeding type of wins. I'm not going to complain about it too much. Now, our next game is Thursday, on St. Paddy's Day. You're in Madison Square Garden, and you're hosting the Islanders. I will be a little bit upset if you lose that game, so please go absolutely beat the brakes off of them. And I'll be here afterwards, hopefully, to talk about a win. So, that is all I have for the evening. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.